brother Jack. You're watching Lights Out TV.
This is Lights Out. I'm FAISAL Khan. Delighted to be joined by Frank Warren. Frank, how are you?
I'm good. What about you?
Not too bad. Thank you for asking, Frank. We're back at.
We heard that they got their boxing licence back, so we got in touch and put our show together, and we've got a cracking show here. We've got Nicola Adams challenging for the world title, and Daniel Dubois, London's own. You know, probably one of the best young heavyweights in the country. He's also on the card with some cracking fights on the undercard.
And of course, you know, Archie Sharp as well, Johnny
Yeah,
Garton.
that's what I'm saying. Some really good fighters on there. So there'll be a lot of atmosphere here, and it's going to be the first of many.
Big test for Daniel Dubois. He's going up against Ravzan Kajanu, who Nathan Gorman fought a few weeks ago. A lot of talk about Daniel taking on Nathan. If Daniel could come through, will that be the next fight for Daniel and Nathan?
Not the next fight, but it will happen, and mate, who knows, maybe happen by the end of the year.
Frank, I've watched Archie Sharp and I realised you've got a massive prospect in Britain. You know, what's the plans with Archie? He's coming up against an undefeated fighter. If he can get through it,
you know, that tells you a lot about him. He's fighting another undefeated, taking a guy on like that. So he comes through that. You know, we want to move him up the world rankings, and obviously his ambition be to fight for a world title. So that's what we're trying to do.
And of course, Nicola Adams. How good would it be to top the night if she was to capture the world title at Royal Albert Hall?
Oh, it'd be brilliant. You know, the first woman to fight for a world title at the Albert Hall. So it's don't get no better than that.
You know what I'm going to ask you, Frank? Is the rematch happening?
We're still working on it. You know, you'll be. Hopefully, we'll have some news for you fairly soon. But you know, we're just working on it at the moment.
Where are we in terms of negotiations, venue, dates? You know, I know you know something.
There's no date and there's no venues yet. It's a matter of getting the deal over the line.
I'm reading online. It's the Barclays Centre in New York. Is there any truth in that?
No, I don't know nothing about that at the moment. So, you know, we've got to get the fight done first. Once we've got the fight done, then we can go from there.
I know you bought Tyson back last year. You know, you brought him into your stable. What's the plans? I mean, everybody wants to know if you can get past Deontay Wilder. Can that big clash with Anthony Joshua this year happen?
You know, Tyson Fury, you know what he's like. He just wants big fights. So it's not a problem at our end trying to make that fight. You know, they're fights that he wants to happen. So my job is to try and help and ensure they do happen. And no one should stand in the way of that. There's 3 heavyweights out there. 2 of them have already fought once. Hopefully they're going to get this rematch sorted out very quickly. They're stepping up to the plate, so let's hope that Anthony Joshua does the same thing with the winner.
And of course, it's likely to be announced this week that Anthony Joshua is to take on Dillian Whyte. Frank, your thoughts on that fight?
You know, Dillian Whyte's done what he's had to do to get himself back, get his rematch. It is what it is.
You said that all it takes is a conversation around the table and that BT Sports and Sky Sports can work together, Frank. I mean, you know, and you've also offered a plea to Dillian Whyte. What's it going to take to get that fight to happen with Anthony Joshua? Because obviously at the moment it seems like a fight that might not happen due to negotiations and of course both being on other channels.
First of all, let's get the one sorted out with Wilder. Let's get the rematch sorted out. That's all we're focused on at the moment, and we'll see what happens afterwards.
Look, I watched the fight again last night. Do you expect Deontay Wilder to perhaps step his game up in this fight? Do you think we'll see a better Deontay Wilder and maybe a better Tyson Fury?
I think you're going to see a better Tyson Fury because he's got a lot of rust out of his system in that fight. So you'll see a better Tyson Fury. Can Deontay Wilder up his game? They're all the questions that will be answered in a rematch. You know, that's what's so intriguing about the fight. You know he can punch, you know he's a big puncher, and you know that Tyson's a really good boxer, but Tyson had him going at the end. And he had him going, so who knows?
Any updates with Josh Warrington, Kid Galahad? I know he prefers a fight with Leo Santa Cruz.
The IBF have withdrew the purse bid date, and they're looking at the legal position.
And of course, Billy Joe Saunders, the WBO, have they ordered it? Have they sanctioned it?
They've said that we've got a period to negotiate, and after that, it'll go to purse bids.
So you expect Billy Joe Saunders' next fight to be against Demetrius Andrade?
Well, he wants to get the title back. He never lost in the ring. It's pretty unfair what's happened to him, but that's what he wants.
And I know obviously a fighter you work with announced his retirement yesterday, George Groves. Just talk to me a bit about George Groves.
He was a lovely bloke, George. I got a text off him yesterday, you know, giving me the heads up that he was retiring, and he said, which was quite nice on his behalf, he said the best night in boxing he had was when he fought on my show against James DeGale and beat James DeGale. He said that was his greatest moment, so I thought that was nice.
Do you think it's come at the right time, or do you still think maybe George had a bit more to offer in the sport?
George is a consummate professional. He's a smart guy. He's not a dummy. He knows the business, and he's made some very good money out of the sport. And good luck to him. and he's retiring at probably the right time for him. If he feels that way, that's how it should be, and good luck to him in the future.
It's obviously, you know, doing a bit of work online the other day, Frank. A lot of people are, you know, talking about your show clashing with the Gale and Eubank Jr., the Leicester show.
What can I do about it? We announced our one, as you know,
yeah, you did.
Before they called theirs. I can't be responsible for other. They're questions you've got to ask the people who promote shows after we've already announced our ones. I mean, you know, it's ridiculous. I keep saying that, but there's nothing I can do about that.
What's your thoughts for their main event, the Gale Eubank Jr.?
I think they're two guys who've seen better days, and you know, it's a decent matchup. But it's, you know, I think Billy Joe Saunders and George Grove showed Junior where he's at, and as regarding James, I did his fight against Truax.
Yeah.
He got beaten. He obviously come back and won it. You know, I don't think they're fighters there were, but it's a decent British matchup.
2 shows announced, one for Leicester, one for the Royal Albert Hall. What else can we expect to see from yourself and your stable this year?
In the next couple of weeks, announcing our April and May dates.
Frank, thank you very much for your time. Really looking forward to this one. Thank you. Talk to you later.